What's up guys, Squirtle here, and this is a bit of a different video. What I'm going to be doing today is, well, my main project today is a drum cover, and what I figured I would do in the middle of that is a kind of top to bottom cover, or breakdown rather, of how I make my drum covers, because I don't think I've ever really done that before. So what I'll be doing is kind of giving you all a full breakdown of how I make my covers, and currently I'm actually in step one, which is waiting for every camera battery to charge. I have about 6 cameras that usually run, plus I have an audio track that runs, so that's just, that's a lot of content that I have to work with, but I'm going to go over the cameras later during the setup process. But this is, well, that is rather step one, and then step two I'm going to go into a little more, well, now actually. So my method of learning the song is actually fairly basic. I've played drums long enough that I can kind of pick up on the drums. Plus, I'll go over the headset that I use a little later, but the set that I use kind of helps. But I essentially just listen to the song over and over and over and over again until I kind of have a general idea of how to play it. Then I play it, and sometimes I even mimic the drum movements because I don't think anybody really cares that I look funny, because they know that I drum and they know that I put videos on the internet. So those two things combined kind of make it, make me look weird anyway. Oh, I guess it would help if I actually said what song I will be doing. It's the new theme song for Tokyo Ghoul RE Part 2, which is called Catharsis. So I'm actually really excited to try to learn this, because this is a song that this is an ad for Friday the 13th, go away. I've actually been really excited to see what the new openings are going to be. And this is one of the first openings of the season of anime, so really excited. Especially considering that I was kind of underwhelmed by the Fairy Tail opening this season, but yeah, this is usually the first step. Next up is just getting the audio file, which it's not on iTunes yet, so I can't buy it, but I'm going to use a tool called YouTube Downloader. Don't hate me, I usually try to find the most legal way to do this, but in this case I don't really have a choice. I forgot to turn my hard drives on. Alright, so next up we take our little audio file here, we drag it over. I tend to use compressor because I'm on a Mac. So just drop this here, tell it to create a little M4A file where I want it to, which is in this little file here. And we drag it into Logic Pro at the start, preferably. And this is the hard part. This is setting up the click track, which is bit of a pain at first. So it does it automatically, like I can tell it to automatically set the tempo, but the problem is that it doesn't actually set the track into the click track, so it figures out, oh, this is, I don't know, 140 beats per minute, but it actually doesn't properly sync it to it. It just sets the tempo to 140, so if it's off, I have to put it back at the right tempo. So dev project. That. Oh, actually, how close is 144? All right. Now, once the click track and everything is done, of course, it's all on here on my computer. So it's kind of like, how do I get it downstairs? Because I'm using my iPhone to film. This is really cool. I'm really happy with this little setup I have. Check this out. So this is my little dual screen setup thing I have going on here. So I've got the whole little Thunderbolt thing and my 2 screens. One in the middle here, if you can see that, that's a laptop. Come around the back here. That's my whole little setup. I'm getting my finger in the frame there. That's my whole little setup. 2 cords into a laptop, eGPU, hard drives, and then the cameras and stuff. So when I go in here, I'll try to do this without, where's my mouse? There it is. I go in here, click on that, disconnect AMD, give it a second for the screens to go black. Nope. At some point here it'll do it. There we go, screens go black. Come around the back here, grab one, yoink, grab the other, yoink, and my entire editing rig. It's usually a 2-handed operation. There we go. Forgot I was a cameraman for a minute. The whole operation comes with me, just like that. So now that we have the laptop, we can get going on setting the cameras up and stuff, because I hope they should be charged at this point. These 2 are still going, and that's still going. All right, one more time. Now it's time to turn this room into a set. It's very bright in this room and very hot. This little guy here, so I gotta mount him up there on the ceiling because reasons. It's cool. It's how you get the overhead shot. So yeah. This guy here, this is actually the first time, this is this little camera's debut. This is a Sony a6000. This is the first time this guy's been used. Of course, this phone, the one that I'm filming all this on, I gotta make my way through here. Next up is this little guy here. Is this the 4K one? Yes, it's the 4K one. So this little guy here, this is a Hero 5 4K, and then up there is a Hero, I think it's just called the Hero, it's the 1080p one. And then this guy down here, one of the best cameras GoPro has ever made, the Hero Session. You literally just put it down, point where you want it to go, and film. Yep, and then for lighting, it's two giant halogen work lights against a trifold board. So yeah, and then the drum kit. Now we're actually gonna get into those in a minute. So the headphones that I use, oh, that's like all white back there. The headphones I use when I record are actually these. They're just some cheap little, what are these? I don't even remember what they are anymore. JVC Marshmallows is what these guys are. I got these back when I was in high school, and they've basically burned out enough that they're foam, so they block out the sound really well. But the speakers inside are so shot that at this point, unless there's a break in the drums, all I hear is drums and vocals. So it works out pretty well for me because I just plug them in and go, and I can hear what I want to hear. And when it gets quiet and there's no drums on them, then I can hear the cues on what leads me into the next part of the song. So that works out really well, actually, but that's what I use for these headphones. And if I'm just playing around, dongle life, because I play music off the phone, so it's the little, that thing. So yeah, but now I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to record, so I'm going to do that now. So that's what a drum session looks like, and this is what I look like after a drum session, because like I said earlier, it is freaking hot in this room afterwards. And now I gotta take all the stuff off of that laptop there, take all of the, well, I gotta take all of the audio and export it, and then all of the footage and import it, and somewhere in the middle there I make a drum cover, and somewhere during that process I take a shower. So I'm gonna go get that part of the process rolling. Last step before editing and before I can go take a shower is to import everything, like I said earlier, and because of the way my little thing's set up, I'll cut in closer on that, but I got a lot of little things hanging off. In fact, this is going to have its own little cord hanging off, so it's going to look interesting, but it's a lot of stuff hanging out of this, including the cord for my phone. So I'll cut to that now, and then I'll start importing everything. So we have a micro SD card and a micro SD to SD adapter running into a USB adapter running into a USB port. We have right there, you can barely see it, I don't even know if it's going to focus on it. We have a micro SD card, then we have a full-size SD card, then we have one of my GoPros coming in through a USB-C, and then my phone going into another USB-C, and that's all, so that I can import all the footage. And then I'll show you how I do the editing once I'm not in the shower. So I'll go do that, and I'll let these import. So yeah, go. All right, so it's a considerable time later, and people are watching football outside or outside the room. So sorry if there's noise. But so what we have here is, you can see the video is cut together. I'm not really going to go into details of editing. I think I'll do like how I make my videos in a later in a later video, like in-depth editing, but you can see it's not that long. It's basically like the length of the song, along with the little ending piece here that just says thanks for watching. But what I do to make this editing process a lot quicker, because you can see it's just one clip, but if you go down here, if you are, if you got a keen eye, you can see that it's got all these different clips together. And no, I didn't actually go through like my timeline up here and pick, segments out of TomCam or segments out of Side or anything like that. What you can do, which is very, very cool and very convenient, is you can go in and create this guy, which is called a multicam clip. So you select multicam clip and you can see here all the videos. Let me zoom out a bit. All the videos and audio are all synced together, which is why I ended up not using the TomCam, because the TomCam shut off before the area that I actually use. So in the drum cover, unfortunately, there is no TomCam, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So anyway, if I go back here, so I go back to my timeline, I'm trying to do this while holding the camera and using a little trackpad here. But if I go in here, you can see, so there's me, of course, and I can go up here to view, so click on view. You can see where it says view angles. I click on angles, and now I have all of my scenes cut together. So if I hit play on my video, you can see that they all sync together. And if I go back and forth between them, you can see how each scene I change, it turns blue. So if you just see here, there we go. And you can see I'm changing around as I change scenes. So that makes my life a whole lot easier when it comes to editing this stuff. And then, of course, I just go in and do color correction and sound work as need be, which, of course, is second nature to me at this point. So, yeah. And then, of course, the title at the start, of course, is just your regular slider title that I use. Yeah. And overall, I'm going to be... I got a little time-lapse of how I did this. Of course, I talked about doing a time-lapse, but it's pretty cool. It's nice being able to kind of cut this stuff together as easily as it is, because it takes a very long time for me to actually make the video part of this, like the recording. The actual editing is easy, but the actual footage, filming it, is the pain. So, yeah. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of top-to-bottom tour of how I do my my drum covers. I know I didn't go in depth with the video editing. I really didn't want to have to go into like this, okay, I cut here and then I do this and blah, 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 because that's a lot more recording. And I just want to make a quick video for today. But this is a general idea of how I make most of my videos, actually. As I set a time to do them, I do them, and they usually are full day projects, unfortunately. So that's why this was basically all day alongside getting some other stuff done that was not channel related. Well, one of them was channel related, but I'll be putting an update video out for that at some point. But yeah, so overall, that's how you make my videos, or make drum cover videos, at least in my case. Multicam, which is way more complex, more cameras than most people know what to shake a stick at, a laptop that's way more expensive than it needs to be for the tasks that I do, and an iPhone, and a camera. A couple cameras, I already said that. But anyway, this is going to be a video that's going to be coming up tomorrow. It'll be up and ready at 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. It's a drum cover, of course, of the Catharsis, the song from the opening of Tokyo Ghoul. And I hope you guys are excited for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if you guys like me kind of doing more stuff like this kind of experimental, like, hey, let's talk about how I make my content and things like that. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure to be there, and have a good one.